Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video, let's take a look at the outlook for this week in the market. What can we be expecting in the market going in this week across the indices, which are mostly driven by individual stocks and all that good stuff. Let's talk about that in this video. But before that, as always, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. Now, before going further, definitely if you are interested in knowing very specific trade plans across many stocks, you can check out the collection on my Patreon. Link you will find in the description of this video. There are already 20 plus stocks over there. And across every stock, I have provided a potential zones and the structure and what it is currently telling us, how these things can be played, and all about that. Okay, so there are 20 plus stocks already, and up to date information on these stocks will be coming out as regularly, and to provide you any update as if it happens in the structure, and if the plan changes where the trailing areas has to be, all that trade plans you will find in my collections on Patreon. 20 plus stocks already there, and list is growing. Check out the detail in the description of this video. You will find the link over there for my collection. Now, we may be setting up in this week, coming week, a weakness week, okay? And this is, I think, a week just before Christmas. So maybe Santa rally may not come this week, or well, this year, okay? Now, why am I saying that there is possibility of weakness? Now, definitely this can change around if the structure changes, but I'll provide that where things can turn around if they have to the upside. But right now, no, we do have a leading indicator here, Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin as in itself is not a correlation that you should be using for S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100, but this actually tells us right now that where the liquidity is heading. Okay, so which is cash inflow or cash outflow. Right now, cash outflow is happening because the structure is cash outflow. Yeah, sorry, that's what I said, is happening because the structure is breaking. So Bitcoin, let's talk about this a little bit, and then we'll talk about the indices on the stock side. So now previously I have done the videos on Bitcoin, and I have specifically mentioned that a rebound is building, and a rebound can build all the way to $94,000. Precisely, that's where we got. And thereafter, even though it tried to hold its uptrend, but it never really could ever get above this particular trend line that I have had there. For I said that even when the price action was right over here, I mentioned that we have a possibility of rebound until here, but until that trend line, but this will be just a rebound. We may be down here on Bitcoin for weeks and months. It may take weeks and months for Bitcoin to again turn in a proper uptrend. And that's what we are seeing over here. We are rejecting at that trend line, and we are continuing lower, and it's just not a pullback anymore. In this rebound, even we have lost the structure, which is at $88,000 and $89,000. As if we stay below this, definitely expect Bitcoin to continue lower, and this can drag the overall market as well with it lower this particular week at least. Okay, we do have across multiple stocks, individual stocks, where things are a little bit looking weak, and some are looking good as well. Again, all those individual stocks information you will find on my Patreon under the collections. Again, direct link is in the description of this video. Okay, so let's get to the weekly interval real quick. And this is where we have had, I mentioned that it's just a rebound right now. Okay, it's just a rebound. We are still rejecting that trend line. You can't really get on the upside on Bitcoin for the longevity unless it gets above that trend line, first of all. And Bitcoin can, it can go even a retest for $80,000. Okay, and that's a very likely possibility. And if we lose $80,000, then $72,000 will come in play. Okay, now definitely that's where I'm more like, well, that's where high likelihood is there that Bitcoin will find its bottom if it doesn't do it here. But right now the thing is that in the near term we are heading lower. So the rebound play is over on Bitcoin. Okay, the only thing that will come back Bitcoin in the upside play only if it breaks out above this trend line. Okay, and better if tomorrow, if we can get above 89,000 area and start to stay above that, that's also a good start. But the proper next play, the rebound play is done, it's over. Take the profits down up there at the trend line. That was the whole premises of that. And once we are losing the structure, any little position that was left in that rebound play, that has to be taken out already. Now, definitely we have to get above that trend line, is that's where the importance is. Okay, now this being a little bit of a leading indicator right now it can change things around if it gets starts to get above $89,000. Okay, that's a very likely possibility. There is still around 24 hours left before the market opens tomorrow. All right, now that brings me to S&P 500. We are rejecting at the all-time highs over here. Okay, definitely they indices S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, they're driven by individual stocks. So again, all those details you will find on my collections. Okay, and on the Patreon. Now S&P 500 rejecting there, it's in the multi-day weakness, almost there in the multi-day weakness, and it's not overall bearish, but this week may, as if we continue to stay below like 682 to 683, most likely we may be testing 674, and below that is like you gotta be really worried. And so far looks like we may be heading a little bit lower again, as if it can get above 683, things will start to look again strengthful. It all comes down to the level, but below that level 683 to 682 we will remain weak. Nasdaq 100 on the other side is much weaker than S&P 500. It is more based on the the growth stocks, tech stocks. But anyhow, and Nasdaq 100 though is already in the multi-day weakness, it is also showing us signs that it is getting much more weaker here. And this may struggle. It's already at the zone 613. Below that, definitely as we break below, that's where a bigger problem is. That will put it in the sentiment would break this. The momentum that we have had on Nasdaq 100 will definitely escape. It has already escaped on the multi-day side of the things, and below this zone of like 613 or so, as we stay below that, we will start this coming week then in the negative sentiment, which may bring us down to 597 or 582 eventually. But this week looks like right now, the way that things are, the way the structure is, unless it stays above these levels as I mentioned, okay, then only things may turn around. But right now, so far, at least at the time I'm doing this video, indicators are pointing to the downside. But I already provided you the levels, as if we get above those levels or stay above those levels, then things may start to stabilize and also have a potential to turn back to the upside again. But right now, that's not the case. Okay, anyways, that's all I had for you guys in this video. And with that, definitely check out more stocks, a lot of plays on my Patreon under collections. Link is in the description of this video. And with that, I'll see you in my next videos, guys. Take care. Bye.